Even on the MSME sector, again on the entrepreneurship, we are trying to activate that by having a separate committee for that. I would only say that probably this is a legacy that we've been following. We had good leadership at the top. The past presidents, the MC members have always tried to do something better. Each year we did something better, something more. And recognizing the effort that we have been doing, IMA, which is at the helm of affairs, and probably under whom there are almost about 60 LMAs like HMAs, different states. We have been recognized, and for the past 2 years, we have been brought into their management council, which I think is a very great honor. Only eight such LMAs get into it, and I think we stand somewhere around 5th. So it is, I think, a proud moment for all the people who are associated with HMA, be it either as directly members or indirectly. And coming back to our today's topic on Chanakya and the leadership, which Mansi ji has been very kind enough. She interacted with me to coin the word properly also, and I think she has really made an effort. And this subject actually is very much very relevant, and we have to properly understand and try to decode it. I'm sure she'll talk more about it. But to tell a few words about it, we learned about Chanakya. He's called as Vishnugupta or Chanakya or Kautilya, and his famous book Arthashastra or Chanakya Niti, what it talks, how it really makes it more relevant, whether it is any walk of life. Mostly it has been told that it's for the leaders. And we all know that Chanakya was very much responsible for making Chandragupta Maurya as the emperor after the Nanda dynasty. But the amount of back end, probably as you call today, the back end engine, he was a back end engine, perhaps trying to motivate and try to see that particular the leadership qualities are excelled in him. And this is where probably he really excelled. And I think there are several stories about him, several things which he talks about, the 7 pillars. He talks about 3 success sutras. And there are, I think, about 6,000 sutras, I'm told. I've read several of some of his books, and I'm just quoting a few from them. But I think it is always a learning experience. Now, even when you open a book of what Mr. Radhakrishnan Pillai has written, he says you just read it as not as a novel, read as and when you want to read it. And you'll find something different. And you can practice it. And you keep practicing. That could be the real way that probably the Chanakya Niti can be put into operation. I'm sure it talks great things about leadership, the leadership, how exactly the leaders are to be probably are being made, or how they really have to excel. I'm sure Madam Mansi ji will now. I'll request to take over, and I would not like to take any more time. Request her to please take over and talk about this particular subject, and I'm sure we will have a great sort of takeaways. Before that, I'll request my Vice President and convener for today's program, Jeevan Naidu, to talk a few words about Mansi ji, which I'm sure will be very impressive. And I also once again make a request to all the august audience to please post the questions in the chat box. It will be more convenient that way. Thank you very much. And thanks for the opportunity. And Madam, welcome to you once again. Namaste.
Good evening to all. Good evening to President, Secretary, all the MC committee members, past presidents, and members of this August gathering. At the outset, may I request those who have joined by a common link to kindly rename their screen, because it's showing a HMA. Kindly rename yourselves. And I would like to move towards giving a very short introduction of our speaker of the day, Mansi Thakur. By education, Mansi is an IT engineering graduate from Pillai College of Engineering, New Panvel, and she has pursued her certification in public speaking along with her graduation. During her engineering journey, she had failed 7 times, which made her decision more firm to become a professional trainer and speaker. But I am sure today there will be a lot of students here after listening to her, they'll definitely get double the marks they always get. I'm very sure about it. While facing downfall in the field of engineering for 2 years, Mansi decided to excel in training field by learning from the stalwarts like Robin Sharma, Kim Kiyosaki, Dr. Eric Pearl, Richard Mullender, G. Raleigh Mills, to embark on this great journey as a motivational speaker. And also, she, in the year 2019, under the guidance of Dr. Radhakrishnan Pillai, started her course in leadership science from Chanakya International Institute of Leadership Studies, University of Mumbai. So she is a very well-known speaker all over the country and the world. So may I request Mansi to take over and address the gathering. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the wonderful introduction, Jayavant sir. And my first of all, sincere gratitude to Renuka ji and Ramchandra sir for once again giving me opportunity to, speak at HMA. It's an honor. And honestly, when I enrolled for this Chanakya course, I never thought I would, teach these subjects. And I remember Radhakrishna sir telling me that, Mansi, leadership is a blessing. And I was just wondering that it's just a small course, how can it be a blessing? But today I realize it's an ocean of blessing, and so many lives are getting impacted by this knowledge. And I think I am privileged, I am blessed that I have, received this knowledge, and I would love to share with all of you. I'm sharing my screen. Let me know if it is available. Just a second. Yeah, is my screen visible?
Yes,
is my screen visible?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Okay. So the very first thing which I want to start today's session is with the quote that I have, learned from. Before that, at any point of time, if I get stuck somewhere, please immediately stop me. Okay. And I'll be sharing this PPT. There are a lot of sutras that we are going to learn today. So no need to write each sutra. I will decode it for you. And I will also be sharing this PPT after the session. Before you learn any leadership, any management, the first quality, which is mentioned even in Arthashastra, okay, is how do you think correctly? See, before you take any decision, you have to think correctly. And even in Inside Chanakya's Mind, Sir has quoted this. The first quality of leadership is to think correctly and clearly. There's a vast difference between thinking correctly and clearly. If you don't have clarity, you will not come to conclusions and you will not have good decisions. From such clarity comes good decision-making capacity. That means you will not arrive to a decision, but you will have good decision-making ability. You will, transform yourself and you will be able to take right decisions. And sound decisions have an impact on everyone. Please understand, Chanakya was a psychologist. He understood that if a king or a leader is not having stable mind, the decisions will be wrong and it will impact everybody, be it Praja, be it his family, be it himself. And that is why it is said that even in leadership, emotional intelligence is most important. And that is why if you see, all these are psychological words. I think there's somebody writing questions in the chat box. Yeah, I'll address all the questions in the end. I'm getting all direct messages. I assure you all the questions in the end, I will address it. Yeah. Okay. Now, this is the book. It is called Arthashastra, Kautilya Arthashastra. People don't know that Chanakya has written two books, Chanakya Niti and Kautilya Arthashastra. Chanakya Niti is for common man. But if you are into leadership, or if you aspire to be into management, or if you're an entrepreneur, you should read this book. I don't know if it's visible to you. It's called Kautilya Arthashastra, and I've given the photo here as well. Now it has 6,000 sutras. Today, we are only going to decode one sutra. And this one sutra, I have studied for 6 long months. Reason being, every sutra has sutra. And most importantly, when you decode the ancient wisdom for the modern times, there are a lot of, relevances, there are a lot of perspectives that come in the picture, and there are a lot of validations that are required. Because if one interpretation goes wrong, it can lead to different decisions or different answers, and, people might misinterpret. So this is about Arthashastra. Now, before you learn about leadership, please understand, Chanakya says everybody has different management lessons, management definitions. I'm sure you must have read about Harvard, Stanford, all big universities giving wonderful definitions. And even you have experienced management. But as for Chanakya, if you want to understand and experience the actual management, it is this. Now, in today's lectures, I would, specify the numbers. Example 1.15.42. That means book number 1, chapter number 15, sutra number 42. It is book number, chapter number, and sutra number, because there are 15 books under this book. So whenever I'm going to say the number, it is like this. Okay. So this is from book number 1, chapter number 15, sutra number 42. The means of starting undertaking, the excellence of men and material, suitable, apportionment of place and time, provision against failure, and accomplishment of work. This is deliberation in its 5 aspects, which means When you pick up any work, the first thing, the means of starting undertaking, you cannot compromise on documentation. Chanakya says, whatever you do has to be documented. Be it online, of course, now you can have offline documentations as well. And now you have a lot of softwares and apps and a lot of technological advances. But even in those days, Chanakya ensured that whatever is coming and going from the kingdom is documented. The excellence of men and material. Chanakya says never ever compromise on quality and the quantity. See, people, because they want to save money, they might hire random people, or they might not train them, or they might just, try to save the company's cost. That's good. But if you don't, if you don't have the sense of, if you keep on compromising, you will not get the quality product. And that is why people don't sustain in the organizations. They keep on jumping from profile to profile, and that does not lead to the right management. Apportionment of place and time. When you do right thing at the right time, things work. A lot of people pick up very good projects, but there is no planning. If there is planning, there is no team training. If there is team training, there might not be any accountability, or people don't want to take responsibility. People want to procrastinate. So if there is no system in place, if things are not happening at the right time and the right place, again, it is mismanagement. Provision against failure. A lot of leaders have excellent strategies, excellent tactics. But if you don't have a backup plan, if you don't have plan B and plan C, you will fail miserably. I don't know why there is a myth that, if you have one single planning, you should stick to that. It is good. But if you don't have a backup plan, you will fail. And Chanakya says your work should be accomplished. And for that, you need multiple strategies, not tactics. A lot of you are sending me questions. I would request all of you, please, let's, keep the questions in the end. Okay. And last but not the least, accomplishment of work. If you have taken something, the first quality of leadership is dedication and commitment. If you don't take up any work, that is okay. But if you have taken up, if you have the responsibility, please complete the work. A lot of people just know to delegate. That is also okay. But as a leader, till the work is not complete, you cannot call it as a management. So these are the 5 pillars of management. Next. Now, today's main topic and one of the most interesting sutras. In any organization, in any startup, or in even in your existing organization, you can apply this. This is called the leadership training or the leadership model. Again, from Kautilya Arthashastra, book number 6, chapter number 1, sutra number 1. Swami Amatya Janpad Durga Kosha Danda Mitra Iti Prakritiya. This is the Sanskrit sutra. And in English, the expression is like this. The king, the minister, the country, the fortified city, the treasury, the army, and the ally are the constituent elements of the state. See, whenever we see the sutra for the first time, we get terrified that, what exactly the meaning is. What I have done is I have decoded each word in the coming chapters on the coming PPT sections. And I'm going to explain you the sub-sutras as well. Okay. So for the next 1 hour, we are only going to focus on this sutra. These are the 7 pillars. Now, the first one in Swami. Swami is nothing but the king. In today's times, it can be leaders. He can be the director or the CEO or any captain. And this is the person who has to give directions. He's the thinker of the organization. Okay. Now, what Chanakya says, for any Swami, you have to have 2 mentors. There's a sutra from book number 1, chapter number 5, sutra number 11. He should have constant association. He means the king or the queen. He should have constant association with elders in learning for the sake of improving his training, since training has its root in that. Chanakya says, any empire requires a king, but a king also requires a kingmaker. But the catch over here is, every king in those days had 2 mentors or 2 kingmakers, one public and one secret. Before the Praja, before the Raja meets the Praja, the king has to first meet its secret mentor. Nobody knows, not even his family. And while there are a lot of ministers and a lot of mentors sitting in the Praja or in the Darbar, I can say, those are public mentors. People know who your public mentors are. But if you really want to excel, Chanakya says have two mentors, one secret mentor and one public mentor. And without having a right kingmaker, you cannot grow. A lot of people have questions that, how do we find mentors? How do we find people who will guide us? We don't know whom to keep as, a secret mentor or a public mentor. There's a sutra even for that. I have not added that sutra, but I will just decode it for you. When you find a mentor, there has to be three qualities. I specifically for the secret mentor: knowledge, experience, and your mentor also should have a mentor. If your mentor also has a mentor, you will be updated because they will also be updated and they have somebody wiser who's guiding them. So if you want to choose someone as a mentor, ensure they also have a mentor. A lot of people cannot afford mentors. You have books. Today you have YouTube. Today you have so many other people who might have been retired, but they have excellent wisdom. But if you are into startup, if you are into existing organization, ensure that you have mentors. And Chanakya says a leader, a king has to have minimum 2 mentors. If you don't have a kingmaker, somewhere or the other, you will fail miserably and you won't be able to live up to that potential. See, it is not that, without mentors, you are nothing. But of course, you need right guidance. And that is why to start this sutra, he started with this sutra saying that your training has a root. And for you to be grounded, for you to be upgraded, for you to live up to the best of your potential, a mentor is required. And not just one, but two mentors. Real leaders are said to be polymath. Chanakya himself was a polymath. He knew about management, economics, law, policies, finance, and whatnot. And that is why he could write Arthashastra, which is actually a university, or I can say an entire Bible. And this he could write is because of the knowledge that he had. He never, told himself that this is what I know, I'm going to stick myself to this. No, he always kept upgrading himself. And he even taught Raja Chandragupta the same thing. Because if you don't upgrade yourself, if you don't, challenge your limitations, and if you don't have your untapped potential activated, you will be stuck somewhere. Even if you Google the word polymath, a person who knows a lot of subjects, I am not saying be a, jack of all and master of none. But can you have awareness about a particular subject? Yes. And in today's time, getting information is very easy. So if you want to be a better Swami, that is a better leader, first of all, have this habit of, being a lifelong learner. And most important, you should try to be a polymath if possible. In fact, there's a sutra which says why a leader has to be, or a king has to be, a lifelong learner. Book number 1, chapter number 5, sutra number 16. Chanakya says, continuous study ensures a trained intellect. From intellect comes practical application. And from practical application results self-possession, which means a king or a leader, if he or she studies every day, if you train your intelligence, if you work on your intelligence, it will make you more practical. You will be able to apply the learnings. It will affect your decision making. And most important, all this will result into self-mastery. But you cannot be a master only if you read and learn for 1 or 2 days. You have to learn every day. In fact, in Arthashastra, it is said that the king, when they plan their entire routine, they have to study for 3 hours every day. In spite of being the busiest person or the busiest member of the empire, 3 hours. That means 1 hour in every 8 hours, the king has to study. And this is why Chanakya ensured that, he's learning from his mentors. The king, whoever the king is, be it Ashoka, be it Chandragupta, or be it Bindusara, they are learning in every 8 hours. They are reading, they have their thinking time, and they are surrounded by wise people. But if they don't have their own learning time and they only give excuses of being busy, they will not be able to grow. They will not be able to expand their empire. So 2 things. The very first thing, have 2 mentors. And most important, you have to be a lifelong learner. You have to continuously train your intelligence. There is a very famous quote that knowledge is wealth. And that has come exceptionally from Chanakya, because he understood that, if you have knowledge, nobody can steal knowledge from you. Maybe people might, steal your positions or your chair or, your titles. But the knowledge that you possess, the kind of experience that you possess, nobody can take that. Intelligence cannot be taken away. Second, Swami Amartya. This is the second pillar. Every empire is a reflection of its leadership. And that is why we started with Swami, that is the king. Now, if you are an entrepreneur, you have to expand your business. You have to ensure that you go to various places. You have multiple businesses to take care of. You have other priorities. So in your absence, your Amartya, that is your minister, is going to take care of the organization. And that is why they say, choose your ministers or your CEOs very carefully, because they reflect you. They reflect your leadership. They reflect your thought process. And in your absence, they are going to manage the organization. He's the second man in charge. He's the one who runs the show. He's the person whom you can depend in your absence. And most important, your Amartya, that is your manager, is always in action. And to give you one more hint, try to hire someone who's a polymath. Can you see the picture over here? This person has knowledge of variety of things. I am not saying he has to be excellent in everything. No. But having awareness is also a leadership quality. Now let's see the sutra for Amartya. A lot of times we have seen that, people read about being a good listener, but they don't listen to their people. And Chanakya says, the moment your Amartya is coming and talking to you, and if you don't listen to them, it's going to be a disaster. And the king has to give the responsibility or the freedom to the Amartya that at any point of time, there is any emergency in the empire, in today's words, I can say organization, please call up and inform. Don't wait for the disaster to spread. Today you have social media. It takes no time to spread gossip or rumors. And by the time it reaches you, it is too late. So ensure that your Amartya is telling you things on time. Let's see the sutra. Book number 1, chapter number 19, sutra number 30. He, the leader, should hear at once every urgent matter and not put it off. An affair postponed becomes difficult to settle or even impossible to settle. Today we have seen a lot of social media people sharing news. In those days there was no social media, but there were people who were talking. And people share negativity more faster. And by the time you go to clarify, it is too late. So ensure that any urgent matter, be it any disaster or any threat or any kind of loss, you as an Amartya or your Amartya has to inform you as the leader. And you should never ever put it off. Why? Because Chanakya says, if you don't listen to them right now, later even if you listen to them, there won't be any solution. It will be too late. And that is why it is important that if they are calling you for something important, train them in such a way that if it is emergency, it is actually an emergency in real sense. Janpad. This is the third pillar, your market. Any business, any organization, of course, needs, the clients or the customers. Without that, you cannot run. And today we are so lucky we have digital platform. This session also is happening digitally, right? So you have to have the monopoly. You have to dominate that area. Janpad is nothing but your area of operation, the place where you can dominate, and most important, where you are having your USP, your unique selling point. Now, today we have online, we have offline, you can have global domination as well. But if you try to copy your competitors, you will lose your market. Chanakya says, Swami Amartya Janpad. First comes the leader, the king. Second comes his team members, or I can say the manager or the CEO or his assistant. And third comes the market, that is the customers and the client. Chanakya was a psychologist himself. He understood that if I understand people, I will be able to work with people. And a great suggestion comes over here that before you dominate any market, before you decide any target audience, please understand the psychology of people. Please understand the area, the mindset of that people, because it varies from state to state. We already have a diversified country. We have different states, different languages, different kinds of mindset. It's okay, you can dominate whichever area you want. But before coming into that area for doing any kind of business or any kind of, organizational work, ensure that you understand the mindset of the people. I think somebody is scribbling on the screen. Could you please stop that? Mr. Bandi Purana, I can see the scribbling. Please stop that. Yes. Let me just stop the annotation. 1 second. Could I request the host to please stop the annotation? Hello?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I think now it's sorted. Yes. So, in third comes Janpad. Now let's see the Sutra. Book number 1, chapter number 16, Sutra number 17. He should establish contacts with forest chieftains, frontier chiefs, and chief officials in the cities and the countryside. Now, when we come across this sutra, we all have a question that we don't live in forest. That is okay. If you have to see the relevance of today's time, when you are having good networking, today, of course, you have LinkedIn, you have Instagram, you have Twitter, you have offline events, you have such amazing associations. Go and network with people. There's a very famous saying, it doesn't matter how many people I know. What matters is how many people know me. Similarly, Chanakya says that, ensure you have good networking. Before you decide your target audience, please decide the networking aspects of it. Have you ever noticed in any of those old serials, the king is disguised as a citizen and they roam around the market. They try to convince people. They try to convey people. They try to understand the problems of people because he has to understand people, right? Yatha Raja Tatha Praja. So as the king, so are his people. So if he does not understand his people, he will be misquoted. And if the king only sits on his throne and does not bother to, understand his praja or his market, he will be thrown away very fast and he can be replaced, he can be attacked. Because please understand, your competitors are watching you 24/7. They know your weakness. And of course, if any king wants to, have a great kingdom, the kingdom is with the people, right? The praja. So if you don't understand your praja, if you don't have a good bond with them, you don't value relations, it will be a disaster. So ensure that you have very good networking, you meet people, you become a people's person, and then after that, you decide your target audience and then see how things work very smoothly. Fourth pillar, Durga, the fortified city or head office. Swami, Amartya, Janpad. Now comes Durga, the most important pillar, that is your headquarters. Every kingdom has its own infrastructure, and that is called as a control tower from where major operations are taking place. Today, after pandemic, we have seen people are working online. We have seen a lot of companies that have shifted to online mode. Some companies have shifted to hybrid mode. That is your working infrastructure. A lot of freelancers, they don't have their office. They have just their laptop, their internet connection and the software, and they're working. Initially, it was only the offline infrastructure. Now we have online as well. You should have one infrastructure, which is a main, I can say, headquarter or main control tower. And in that control tower, you should have your office in place. Now, a lot of people say, but that is very common. We have our office in. No, that's not the case. There has to be a system. There has to be a good work culture. Only having an infrastructure does not make any sense. A good work culture, SOP in place, a good systematic approach, and most important, discipline. If these things are present, we can say that you have the best Durg in place. Let's see the sutra. Now, before I come to the sutra, there are three things that we have decoded. It was hard infrastructure initially because in those days there was no internet connection. But now we have soft infrastructure, that is software. And of course, we have digital infrastructure. As an organization, as a startup, of course, you have your offline offices, but please ensure you have your website. Please ensure you have your digital presence as well. Even digital presence is called Durga. That is your infrastructure. And if you have a balance of all these three, we can say in today's time, your Durga is perfect. A lot of people are very lazy to understand the power of social media. Please understand that, your personal branding and most important, your presence on social media conveys a lot of things. It can give you business. If you want your third pillar to be strong, for that, your fourth pillar has to be more strong. Is somebody trying to ask something? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So for your third pillar, that is your market to be strong, your fourth pillar, that is the Durga, has to be the strongest. And for that, you can pick up any two platforms, say LinkedIn and YouTube or LinkedIn and Instagram. You can use your WhatsApp status also to promote your work, your choice. But if you are active at least on two platforms, that can also be the strongest of the Durga. Now, most important sutra, book number 1, chapter number 20, sutra number 23. Every object should go out or come in the palace after it is examined and its arrival or departure recorded. See, even in the management sutra, we had seen, right, that the means of starting undertaking, that is documentation, Chanakya says, whatever comes in the organization, whatever goes from the organization, unless and until it is checked, it is examined, please do not entertain it. A lot of times we have a question that how is it possible? Of course, now you have softwares, you have great IT team that can help you with all this. But for security reasons, whatever is coming inside the organization, that is the Durga, has to be monitored. When you use laptops, you use antivirus softwares, right? Similarly, in your organization, for avoiding any kind of threat or any kind of theft, we need to ensure that everything is monitored. We have CCTV cameras, that is also okay. But in spite of that, we have a lot of people misusing the mails. We have a lot of things happening behind our back, and we can't have control on everything. But Chanakya says, if you are wise enough, you can have control on whatever is coming in and coming out and ensure that your Durga is safe, because major of your work happens in the Durga. That is your main infrastructure, your headquarters or your head office. So if anything goes wrong over there, it can lead to a big, big disaster. And that is why if you see in those days, there were kingdoms at a very high heights. And nowadays, of course, you have good buildings, good infrastructures with good security. But most importantly, are you aware what is coming in and what is going out of the organization? If not, then there is something very wrong happening. Fifth and most important pillar, and I think every entrepreneur wants to add value, but they also want to create wealth. And Arthashastra is called as the scripture of wealth. Most important thing, your Swami, that is your first pillar, Amatya, the Janpad, Durga, and Kosha. You as a leader, you are perfect. Your Amatya is perfect. Your audience, your target audience is, dominated in the sense you have good monopoly. You have very good infrastructure. But if there is no wealth coming in, you won't be able to sustain. Book number 6, chapter number 1, sutra number 10. Acquired lawfully by ancestors and by oneself. If you have seen our PM's one of the speeches from Chanakya Niti, he had quoted that today, if I'm earning unethically, please understand from the 10th year onwards, all my wealth will go away. And that is a Chanakya Niti Sutra. And that is why Chanakya says, it is okay if you earn less, but it has to be acquired lawfully from your ancestors and even from you. If your ancestors have not earned lawfully, you start earning lawfully, because every wealth that is earned, unethically or not legally or by doing something wrong does not stay for more than a decade. And when it goes away from you, it destroys you badly. And that is why it is said, it is okay to earn less, but it is not okay to do things unethical. The very first thing, before you start your empire, or if you have an existing empire, ensure whatever wealth is coming in, you can have multiple streams of wealth, but that has to be acquired lawfully. That means ethically. And if you are ethical, your team also will be ethical, and that wealth will stay for long. Otherwise, right now you will earn as much as you can. But from the 10th year, that is after a decade, you will face a loss, and that is the law of nature. And that is also what Chanakya teaches. One that can withstand calamity. We have seen a lot of businesses, went down in pandemic. A lot of people were suffering a lot, and they could not withstand calamity was because they did not have a backup. Always have an emergency fund. Never ever depend on one income is what we always read from these, big billionaires and big millionaires. But Chanakya said, if you want your kingdom to be more successful, more stable, have overflowing kosha, that is overflowing wealth. And you will have overflowing wealth when you have multiple sources. And that comes when the leader or the king has enough awareness. And no matter how many ever sources of income you have, everything has to be ethical practically. One, even when there is no source of income for a long time, not every business got affected in pandemic. People who were doing digitally were doing well. YouTube came up, a lot of other things. You know, what happens is when people give us new opportunities, we always come up with self-doubt. We never want to be with trend. We only understand it when there is a problem or when there is a need. But please understand, my dear friends, that whenever you have a good opportunity, try to grab it. I am not saying run behind every opportunity, but if you think you can do justice with it, please do that. Just to add a small input in this, now there is creator economy. People have their own YouTube channels. People are, creating good income from LinkedIn, from Instagram, from YouTube, from Twitter. At least whatever knowledge you have, whatever experience you have, you can convert that into an income. Maybe you can write a book. Maybe you can conduct courses. There are a lot of other ways which can be your untapped potential and which is also an ethical income. So Chanakya says that when you are having a kingdom, your wealth has to be overflowing, your kosha has to be overflowing. But most important, whatever you earn, be it even the minimum, has to be ethical, has to be lawful, and it cannot have any kind of unethical practices. Otherwise, after a decade, you will see a good loss. I wish this sutra had reached a lot of people in the pandemic. Somewhere I could relate to it, though it was written thousands and thousands of years ago. But Chanakya ensured that every king who reads Saptang or who reads Arthashastra is first taught this. Book number 1, chapter number 19, sutra number 35 and 36. Be ever active in the management of the economy, because the root of wealth is economic activity. Inactivity brings material distress. Without an active policy, both current prosperity and future gains are destroyed. Didn't we see that in the pandemic, the economic activity was stopped? Be ever active in the management of the economy. Chanakya says, no matter, even if you're not earning, do keep on doing your work, keep the process on, it doesn't matter. The moment you stop working is the moment, it's a moment of disaster. The root of economic wealth is activity. That means you have to ensure that you are doing your work. Inactivity brings material distress. Malls were shut. Everything was shut in the pandemic. It was a lockdown. There was so much of loss that happened, no? Of course, there were good things that, people got to spend time with the family and the nature came into a balance. But economically, it was a loss. And that is why Chanakya says, even if you don't earn today, it is okay. Keep doing your work. Someday or the other, it will come up in a good way. But if you stop working, if you become lazy, if you say, oh, I have a lot of money, I don't have to work, I am sorted, it will be having a good distress on you. It can cause mental health issues. And most importantly, it will reflect a very bad leadership. Without an active policy, both current prosperity and future gains are destroyed. Existing businesses were lost, right? A lot of businesses got shut in the pandemic and even the future gains were destroyed. That means whatever they had to gain in future, that was also lost because there was no activity happening. And that is why Chanakya says, irrespective of the circumstances, irrespective of the calamities, ensure you are active. It doesn't matter if today you are getting any client or not. Keep doing your work, keep promoting your work, use actively your social media. Something or the other has to come up. If your activity is in place, you won't have material distress. Sixth and most important, your Swami is in place. That means you as a king. Amatya, that means your manager. Swami Amatya Janpad, that means your clients, your customers. Durga, infrastructure. Kosha, wealth. Now you need people to manage, right? Your juniors. The army consists of your team members, maybe your driver, your HR, your salespeople. But Chanakya says, you can have n number of people, but these people should be loyal to you. They should be willing to fight for their king. And this discusses or this happens when there is right work culture. If they do not have a right mindset, if they are not loyal to you, you will face tremendous of problems, because lot of office politics starts from here. The gossips, the kind of negativity, the kind of, disloyalty, the kind of, spreading wrong things, the kind of wrong influences. So ensure that your sixth pillar is well trained, is well maintained, and these people should have discipline within themselves. Let's see the sutra. I think somebody's sending questions. Yes. One of my favorite sutra, not because I'm into the training industry, but I think I wish, all startups and organizations should have, this sutra in place, because people fail to understand why they need training. It is not that only a motivational speaker needs public speaking. No, any kind of skill development, any kind of personal growth or professional growth, it requires training. And that is why Chanakya says, for having the discipline in place, you have to train your team. Book number 1, chapter number 5, sutra number 6. Training and discipline are acquired by accepting the authoritativeness of the teachers in their respective field. And I'm proud to say that HMA is already following this. You're inviting various authorities to, teach on various subjects. But even organizations have to do that. Startups have to do that. Don't depend only on internal training. Have external trainers. Have people who will have authority on the subject and give variety to your danda. The more you train your people, the better they will evolve. And it is said that, when you invest in people, they will invest back in the company with more loyalty, more dedication. And Chanakya said this a lot of years ago. He ensured that, the team of the king is well trained. So ensure that your danda is trained timely. There has to be weekly trainings. They have to be developed technically, non-technically, on various skills and from different people, because when they learn from different people, they will have better perspectives, they will have better understanding, and they will have better understanding of emotions as well, because everybody has something or the other to convey. Last but not the least, seventh pillar, Mitra. These can be your situational or permanent advisors, and they have no self-interest. Whenever you decide any Mitra or advisor for your company, please ensure there is no selfish motive behind this. They are only there for a temporary project, or they can be there wherever you need them. But they can be called your friend, or they can come for a situational problem. They are not your shareholders. They are not your investors. They have no other collaboration with you. They are only your advisors. And you will depend on these people or the seventh pillar only in certain situations, not all. That is why Chanakya clarified from the first pillar, you have been already given 2 mentors, one public mentor, one secret mentor. But in spite of that, if there are challenging situations, then you will come and talk to the seventh pillar, that is your situational advisors. Let's see the sutra. Now we've collaborated 4 sutras in this. Let's see the first one. Book number 1, chapter number 15, sutra number 2 and 35. All undertakings should be preceded by consultation. A lot of people have a lot of ego. Why should I ask? I know everything. No, that should not be the attitude. For a king to be more grounded and more humble, he has to learn to ask. Even if he knows, ask, discuss with the people. Holding a consultation with only one, he may not be able to reach a decision in difficult matters. A lot of times, we think that, this person has all the answers. It's good. You should have such people in your life. But you will not come to a decision. You will not come to a conclusion. And that is why, in spite of having mentors, you will be confused. You might have some situations where you don't know what to do. That is when you will have these situational advisors coming in the picture. Therefore, sit and counsel with those who are mature in intellect. Sutra number 25 and 21 from book number 1, chapter number 15. It is very important that the people in the seventh pillar are intellectually wise. A lot of people have good experience. They might not be intellectual and vice versa. But any person who is giving you advice has to be intellectually strong. because they will not be biased. Chanakya says if they are very much matured in intellect, they will not be selfish, they will not manipulate you, they will not misguide you, and most important, they will tell you the reality. Because you as a king, you need the reality check. You don't want people who will just sugarcoat you, because you have to take care of the organization, your empire. If something goes wrong, people will catch hold of you. So ensure that you have people who show you the mirror. And this is the 7th pillar. It's said that readers are leaders. So these are some recommendations which I would highly tell you. 7 pillars, yes, because if you want to understand these 7 pillars in depth, this book will definitely help you. The winner, because it is about more self-made people. I like to read about self-made people because I think those are the people who will actually understand the value of struggle. See, people who have already got through inheritance and power, they will enjoy the process, but they don't know the struggles, right? They don't understand people very well. So for me, I respect the self-made people more is because they've undergone a process and they know what it takes to reach a successful place. The $1 Billion Secret, I would highly recommend because again, it has stories of all stalwarts and it is a great, great book. I know these books are not known much in the market, but the reason I want to share is because if you are a unique king or a queen, you should also have unique knowledge. The Buddha and the Badass, Chanakya says a leader is a Raja Rishi. That means he's a philosopher king. And I understood that there's this global entrepreneur, Vishen Lakhiani, who understands that spirituality is the essence of entrepreneurship. So he has written a book on this. We all are using, Dell laptops, HP laptops. The founder of Dell has written a book and people don't know about it. And I was so inspired by his journey that how people are engrossed in the right kind of processes and they can be extraordinary leaders. And last but not the least, one of my favorites again, the first 90 days. Michael Watkins has done study on, what kind of leadership ethics, policies, and practices a leader has to do in the first 90 days. Never ever go and dominate people saying that, oh, I am a leader now. No. If you have the right system and methodology in place, you will succeed as a first-time leader or an entrepreneur. So I would highly recommend these 6 books to start with. And last but not the least, my sincere thank you for all of you for listening so patiently. I will stop the screen share for question answers, but before that, I will quickly run you through the entire PPT once again. We started with thinking clearly. For this, I would also give you one more strategy that before you start any work in the morning, 10 minutes just spend on thinking time. A lot of people do meditation, that is good. But only spend on thinking time, it will give you a lot of self-introspection. We undergo self-introspection when there's some problem in our life. No. Try to have self-introspection every day for 5-10 minutes and you will see that you will have clarity of thoughts. We spoke about Arthashastra and people have to learn Arthashastra, not Chanakya Niti. We have seen the definition of management, documentation, excellent quality, never compromise on quality, do right thing at the right time, at the right place, have a backup plan, and most important, whatever work that you have undertaken, ensure you're completing it. Then you can say that it's an excellent management. We saw the sutra, Swami Amatya Janpad, Durga Kosha Danda Mitra Iti Prakritiya. That means the 7 pillars. Now we are seeing the each pillar. Swami, that is you yourself, the king. You should have mentors, 2 mentors, public mentor and secret mentor. Leaders are polymath. Chanakya says, train your intelligence. The more you train your intelligence, the better self-mastery you will have. Amatya, in your absence, this person runs the show. So ensure this person is well-trained. This person is the perfect match for being Amatya. He's a polymath. And most important, he tells you when there's an urgent matter, he will not postpone it and even you will not postpone it. Janpad, without customers, without clients, we are nothing. So ensure that we first understand people and then we decide our target audience. We should have very good networking, at least every week, 1 hour, minimum 1 hour, be it online, be it offline, spend time in networking, know more people and ensure more people know you. Durga is your control tower, your infrastructure. Now you should have offline and online both infrastructures. And I would also say your website or your personal branding in place, because that is much needed. Anything that comes in or goes out has to be monitored. Please ensure this thing is not compromised. Documentation has to be in place. Most important, every entrepreneur's favorite, creating wealth, creating impact. But the catch over here is it has to be acquired lawfully. You cannot cheat people. You cannot do unethical practices because you want to acquire wealth. If you do that, right now it won't be a problem. But after 10 years, everything will go away. Even your generations will suffer. Your family will suffer. So ensure that from your ancestors, if not, at least from you, you are working and earning ethically. One that can withstand calamity. In spite of all the problems, your wealth will save you because that has been earned ethically. And last but not the least, even if there is no income, unexpected pandemics are coming, still your wealth is protecting you. Never ever stop your activity, irrespective of your earnings or not. Ensure that whatever you are doing, you are active in the management. Every day you are working. If you do this, you will never have any material distress. But if you stop working, if the activity stops, it will cause problems. Your team is your strength. Ensure that your team is trained every time and on different things from different authorities. And when you do that, automatically you're inculcating loyalty in your team. And last but not the least, situational advisors. The more advisors you have, the better it is, because they will save you. And they have to be matured in intellect. You have to discuss with them when you are confused, and they do not have any selfish interest. These are the book recommendations that I would suggest. And last but not the least, thank you for your valuable time. This is my website. I'm available on Instagram and LinkedIn. And this is my company website as well. Thank you for your valuable time. My sincere thank you to HMA, to Ramchandran sir and Renuka ji, who has been very, very kind to me, and she has given me such great opportunities. Ramchandran sir has specifically called and encouraged my work. And I think, as a youngster, when such wise people call and encourage you, it gives us a better confidence. It boosts my, self-esteem. And I'm so grateful to all of you for listening to me so patiently. I wish I could extend the session for long, but due to time constraint, I had to keep it very short. But there are a lot of learnings I have to share with all of you in the coming few days or coming few months. Whenever I get a chance, it's my commitment to HMA that you will always get the best learnings, and I will try to ensure that whatever learnings I am gaining from my mentors, wherever possible, whenever possible, I would love to share it with all of you. And there is one video link I will share in the group, which I have spoken about this Saptang, and it has gone nearly to 89,000 views, thanks to Big Brain, who has, hired me as a creator. And I am going to create more content on Chanakya and leadership. I've shared the chat. Now we open to answers. I think somebody has raised their hands. Yeah, a lot of people were sending me messages in the DM. Now you can ask questions. Yes.
Madam, I think let me just intervene and tell it was a fantastic session.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for your offer that you will be always available for us. I'm sure all the audience present today, 90 plus 90 plus, would love to listen to you again. Thank you very much for this excellent presentation. You held us almost spellbound. That's what I can say.
Thank you so much.
So Gopal Krishna Garu, our very senior bureaucrat, thank you, so welcome. And your words of advice also would be fine, sir. So thank you very much. I think maybe Jayant Garu can take over and look at the questions.
Yeah. Actually, I don't see questions have not yet come into our chat box. So maybe if anyone has questions, I would request them to put them into the chat box.
I have just asked one question, sir. Is there any area where Chanakya is not present in today's leadership or management?
organizations and startups. So, but on an individual level, I think, people have challenges to apply. So, yeah.
Just a question.
Yes.
When you're going to the 7 pillars,
Yes.
you said Swami, there's a king, you should be polymath.
Yes.
Coming to Amartya, manager also should have number 2 in the command. And if you possess same polymath, can there be a career progression that Amartya can get into the role of a Swami?
Yes.
Because rest of the pillars are a bit different. Whereas if you come to the pillar number 1 and the pillar number 2,
yes,
very close. Both
very close. Yes, yes.
Swami.
Yes.
And if he also become a polymath, and he can take over as a Swami tomorrow, where rest of the 5 pillars are totally different from the first 2 pillars.
Absolutely. But that is why they say they both have to be polymath, is because when you have somebody to take place in your absence, people also have expectation with the same leadership. No, of course, no 2 humans can be same. But if your Amartya also is well aware, he will be having different kind of emotions as well. He will understand people better because of the awareness he has. A lot of people have a lot of ego issues because of the position they held, okay, or they hold, correct? But if he's a polymath, he will take things from various perspectives and he'll understand people. Because if he cannot connect with the people, he will not be able to manage it in the absence of the Swami. But yes, this does not mean that Amartya has to be in place of Swami. He can aspire to be.
Correct.
But he should never forget that he's still an Amartya.
Okay.
And even madam, even Chanakya has that near the same position as such.
Yes.
He was actually, though he's called as a kingmaker, but he's very close to being a king.
Yes, yes. But actually, he never wanted to be a king. In fact, there's a very interesting story that when he was born, he had all the teeth, and his family used to believe in astrology. So somebody told him that, isko Raj Yog hai and he will become a king. And his father was not convinced with this because of what Dhananand he had seen, that he's a very egoistic king, this, that. So they tried to break all his teeth. But what is there in your destiny, people cannot take that away from him. Right? He did not become a king, but he became a kingmaker. That Raj Yog still worked for him. And he knew this, that this is what is going to be there. But it was just that he did not become a king, but today he is known more than the other kings. Actually speaking, there was a debate that he should be a secret mentor, because Chanakya himself said that there has to be 2 mentors. But if he would be a secret mentor, we all would not be, knowing Arthashastra. Then even this would have been a secret.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of thought process that comes in the picture. And it is said that, in fact, he had studied Ramayana and Mahabharata before, formulating Arthashastra. A lot of inspiration has been taken from the Indian mythologies as well. So there is a thought process behind writing these sutras.
Can we rate this as something greater than the Western management theories, Chanakya's management theory?
Yes, you can. It's very simple. See, but the only thing is that, why we studied as a course is because we wanted the leadership and the entrepreneurship angle to it. Because you study a subject or anything from your own perspective, your own way of having a purpose, right? We wanted a purpose of entrepreneurship and management because everybody who was enrolled in the course was having some or the other entrepreneurship experience. So we wanted to relate in the relevance of today's times. So be it Anvik Shiki, that is strategic thinking, or Saptang, the pillars that we studied today, or be it Raja Rishi, or be it sutras from Bhagavad Gita and Ramayana, is the relevance that we want, that how we can apply in today's time. So that is how it is. Yeah, do share your email ID and contact. Okay, I'll share that. Okay, my email ID is myt.winplus.in. Yeah, I've shared the contact and email ID here. Yeah. HMA has a question. Yeah, please ask.
Yeah. Hi, Mansi. Good evening.
Very good evening.
Yeah, this is Rohini Naidu. The session was fantastic. And
Thank you so much.
I've been an ardent fan, or, what do I say? I was reading Chanakya's book since long.
Okay.
And always I try to implement that. As you said, there's a lot of ego for most of them, and they would not like to actually, come down and then, learn from beginners or, youngsters. That's
Yes.
one point. Now, my question is, when you said that you have to acquire wealth only ethically, and if you're not doing that, just in 10 years of time, your future generations, or you will lose the wealth, these points were mentioned, right? But when we
Yes.
take the examples of political leaders, sorry to say this, okay, we have many people around us who have acquired a lot of wealth, in fact,
Yes.
right? And their
Yes.
generations are doing good, and they also are continuing to be rich enough. So how can
Yes.
you relate this to the present scenario, this point?
Okay. First of all, it is the Chanakya Niti that has been, mentioned this. See, even if they are earning very good or they have a very good empire, somewhere some kind of loss they must have felt, which is not known to the public. I don't know how philosophical this might sound, but even in Bhagavad Gita, it is said that whatever karma you do now, it reflects in the future. Correct? Now, example,
True.
in Ramayana, okay, this Raja Dashrath had, I think by mistake had killed Shravan,
Correct.
and he had the shrap that his parents said that you will also
Yes,
be
yes.
away from your this thing, and in the next birth he had to compensate for it. He was away from Lord Ram, right? Just to give you a
Correct.
context that if not today, but tomorrow, somewhere or the other, it will be balanced. And because Chanakya studied these ancient mythologies and all, he understood that it's better to do things correctly, because it can otherwise lead to lot of shortcuts. People run for shortcuts just because they want to acquire things. And I have seen that a lot of people, they might, when we look at them, it's like, wow, they have the best life, they are very wealthy, they are very rich, and they have the best life possible we can imagine. But
True.
we don't know what all they have gone through, or what all challenges, or what all sacrifices, or probably what all losses they have undergone. That never comes up. So somewhere or the other, it's a nature rule, it gets balanced. And what Chanakya is trying to say is to be on a safer side and to not run behind shortcuts. Ensure you acquire things ethically and lawfully. Otherwise, it will not sustain. And the worst part is, if our ancestors, or if we are not doing it, in the ethical way, it will affect our future generation. So why to ensure that, even if you build a very good wealth right now, or if you build the excellent empire, but tomorrow if it will not sustain, it's again a temporary illusion, no?
But
I
considering
don't know
the
how I'm
present
able to convey
scenarios
what I'm trying to
Absolutely.
convey. Sorry?
I did get it. But looking at the present situations,
Yes.
the greed for acquiring a lot of wealth as took the first step rather than anything, rather than ethics. It's not a debate, but this is just my speaking out loud. So earning money has become the topmost priority, and people who have money are happier than the ones who do not have. Challenges are there with everybody as such.
Yes,
I'm just
yes.
trying to understand, how it is. But however, it's nothing to go for any debate or something like that. But I just wanted to understand. Thank you so much.
Rohini,
No problem.
Rohini
Yes, sir.
Naidu, can I
Yes.
actually intervene?
Yeah.
Yes,
Sir is
sir.
our he was a former
I
chief
am
secretary.
I am Gopal Krishna. I'm a retired IAS officer. There were two things which I thought must be corrected. Ethical money will remain for a long time. But if it is earned unethically, the person himself suffers a great deal of agony in his mind. It may not be apparent to all of us, but certainly that thing will be hurting his conscience that he has done something and the means should be as good as the ends. And therefore, he will always find it very difficult to actually live with that constant feeling that he has done some wrong. So that is one
100%.
thing.
Yes.
The
Yes.
other way of looking at another point that was raised was regarding the distinction between the Swami and the Amatya. The Amatya's duty and role is quite different as a minister. Whereas in the case of the Swami, he is the man who has to take the decision. He may
Yes.
have any number of mentors, he may have any number of Amatyas, but ultimately the buck stops there and he has to take the decision. So therefore, all these things are actually enabling him to weigh and balance the right and the wrong and then take a decision. That is how
Yes.
we should interpret Chanakya's Niti or Chanakya's Arthashastra. That is my view of things. I may be right, I may not be right.
No,
But
you're
this is
absolutely
how I
right,
would
sir.
look at it.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right.
Sanjay, you want to say something?
Yeah, Chandra. Wonderful, Mansi. I think, Dr. Gopal Krishna's comment was so very appropriate. It is all our interpretation as well as the way
Yes.
we actually take these particular the sutras and internalizes to our swadharma that matters, because our dharma matters finally in the way we interpret, and then
Yes.
dharmas that follow beyond that. So, in fact, I'm very happy that you have actually brought in this sort of a discussion and this topic.
Thank
Ramchandra,
you.
wonderful, good that we are having this sort of discussions here. I would recommend that she actually takes a series. In fact, this particular presentation that she's done in an hour could actually be a full day workshop
Yeah,
for most of our senior managers, you know.
Yes.
And each of the chapters itself is a separate section. The way in which
Yes.
I have the entire book with me, and then the contrasting it with the other philosophers like Lao Tzu and Socrates and Aristotle. They bring in the perspective that the managers need in today's time, the VUCA world that we're actually living in. So I'm
Yes.
very happy, and it's a brilliant and an energetic presentation. I am
Thank you,
very
sir.
thankful that you have been, our karmas have met as well as our paths have met today.
Thank
And
you,
we should
sir.
be in touch. We should be in touch.
Yes,
Wonderful.
sir. Thank you. Thank you. Means a lot. Thank you.
Thank you, Sanjay. Nice of you.
Thank you, Sanjay.
So I think we have no more questions, Chanakya Garu.
Yeah. In fact, it's one of the very unique session. In fact, the attendance throughout is maintained close to century, number one. The second thing is, I have been observing you before start of your session itself, very cheerful, and you not drop your energy.
Thank you.
That vibrancy, it is awesome and highly thought-provoking.
Thank you, sir.
Very unusual in the sense, normally we don't really talk about Chanakya. I mean, 6,000 sutras you said. I don't think one life is enough to understand the 6,000 sutras.
Yes.
Whatever you gave us is like something like a sample of that.
Yes.
We made us to understand what are the 7 pillars and how is really relevant in today's context, how it is really, in terms of application. And it seems to have abundant knowledge, not only in this, even other mythological things also. You are very young, having only 9 years experience. I thought I am going through your profile, even this, renewable energy, this website.
Yes.
And very apt, everybody understands easily Swami, nothing but king, Amacha, nothing but manager, Janpad means people, Kosha means cash, Danda means Dandan Darshavavet, army, Mitra means friendship. Durg only I thought odd man out. Ultimately, I was trying to say Durg is nothing but a building or territory kind of thing.
Yes.
And it is really mind-blowing and it's thought-provoking. And really fortunate to have, lecture from your side is, in fact, if I see like our Gopal Krishna Garu, one of the senior most IAS officer, life member of HMA, who was present throughout, and is a participation like Sanjay Gadale is one person normally. If you really look at the profiles of people who have attended, I think it's something, and we look forward for many sessions of this nature.
Means a lot, sir. Thank you so much.
Always, Mansi, congrats, best of luck.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
We have also noted down your number.
Yes, sir.
And, I hope you don't mind if I refer your session to anybody else. Thank
you, sir.
Yeah, it's only.
Yes.
And really, thank once again all the members present here, President Garu, Vice President Garu, and some of the senior people, past presidents, MC members. And really, it's all, I hope it would have benefited all of us. This is one of the wonderful, unique session, which we have really experienced today. And really, hats off to you. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
very much.
Thank you.
I only want to remind all people that actually all this was done 5,000, 6,000 years ago.
Oh,
So you can only say
Yes.
how knowledgeable, how intelligent they were even in those days. And that is how they could actually keep the country united under the Guptas, Chandragupta Maurya and others.
Correct, sir.
Yes, sir. And we talk more about Drucker or Kotler and all that.
Yeah,
And
correct.
our own great Chanakya is not to that level of what probably he should have deserved. Very well. Thank you very much, ma'am. I think thanks to one
But
and
we
all.
should appreciate and acknowledge for the interest we have taken in this particular subject. I mean, thanks for everybody. Shall we close the session, Karthik?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Good night, everybody. Closing the meeting.
You have to close the meeting. Okay.